All right, so let's download this zip file. I've actually got it right here, app.zip, or my app. Go into WebStorm, open it. Go into downloads. We put it right there. See if date modified helps us. Yep, there it is. I think that's the root. It is. So I open it. Let me just bring it up full. I better not bring it up full screen. That may kill my capture. Just make it bigger. So go into terminal. First thing I always do is npm I for install. Let's look at the package.json file. It's the second thing I always do. Just off the top of my head, 16.9, I'm sure that's later than the React that I built the course with. Next 8.04, I think I built the course with Next 7, though there weren't that many differences, so that shouldn't matter. My recollection is Axios 18 versus 19, that shouldn't matter. Gosh, JSON Server 15, I think 14 is the current. So let's just run dev, see what happens. Comes up on 3000. I actually didn't run the JSON server yet, but let's just see what happens if we get the same error you got before running JSON server. Layout is undefined. That's no good. So let's look at app.js. That's in the pages directory, app.js, layout. So there should be an import for layout. See if ReSharper or WebStorm will help us insert import. Yep, so that should help us. Let's see what happens now. Not sure why you didn't get that error, but who knows. npm run dev, that wouldn't have affected the build. Didn't really even need to restart it, probably. Okay, well that's a good sign. If I go to speakers, I think that's where you were stuck. Can I read property map? Okay, so let's bring up the, again, didn't really need to stop it, but npm run JSON server. Okay, so now that's running. I can click on it just to verify. And there's speakers. Yep, speakers are good. There's Tammy Baker, who you saw. So now if I go to local, npm run dev again, 3000. Click on speakers. Speakers works for me. So I'm on a Mac. I'm going to pause this and go check out on Windows and come back. Hold on. So oddly enough, in Windows, there was an error on the footer page. And it's funny it didn't show up on the Mac, but okay. Export class footer and then export default footer. Those are sort of odd things to do. You should really just do one or the other. So I'm going to get rid of export default footer because that shouldn't be there. And then export class should make it so that footer, if I look in my app.js, where's footer? I guess it would be in the layout. It's in footer here. There's footer. Here's layout. And so now that's, what's this warning telling me? Using unnamed import for footer. So let me go back to that again. Export class footer. If I look at header, okay, so this is how I typically do it. Class header, and then I say export default header. So let's just do the same there. Class footer and export default footer. Now if I look at layout again, there's footer, and no complaining. I think I complained a minute ago, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, so if I run this again, it should run exactly the same pm run dev. It actually worked for me the first time after I fixed the layout. Speakers. So that's working. And if I look at my debug tools, all, preserve log, get rid of that, run it again. So here's my speakers. This is the speakers page. There also should be a, where are speakers? Actually, it didn't find it because when you load on the first page load, I look in speakers, it's getting it from getInitialProps. GetInitialProps is running on the node server and it's returning a promise. But if I browse to the page directly, this is going to run on the client. So if I go back to if I go someplace else, like I go to home and then I go to speakers, let's see if I get an error there. No, it worked the same. If I clear the network traffic, not even sure how to clear this. I thought you could just right click on it and say clear, but that doesn't seem to be working. But if I do it again, if I go home and then I click on speakers, which is a server side, yeah, and here's my HTTP 4000 because I did a client side link. And there's all my data the way, including Tammy Baker. So except for that layout not found, that seemed to work. And when I went over and did it on Windows, it also worked. But I had that funky problem with the footer being exported by default and also exported explicitly. So I'm going to quit this and I'm going to post this, and let me know if this doesn't work for you.